Okay, looks like we're live. Hope second time's a charm and not the third time. Started the stream and had to end it because I had to freeze a couple of tracks and unfreeze another one. And, well, at least with Cakewalk and OBS, if you do any freezing or unfreezing of tracks during an OBS session, it causes nasty latency that I can't deal with. So we're back, and now, before I actually get to retracking the main vocal, I'm just, it's been a few weeks since I worked with this mix, and I've learned a few things since then, and changed my standard operating procedures a little bit since then. So, sort of surveying the lay of the land here, and the first thing I'm looking at is my Tone Booster's Real Bus, which is a wonderful tape machine emulation plugin, and trying to. I've got it on a preset called Subtle Saturation. Since then, I have taken a shine to the compact cassette setting, and I'm wondering if that's going to, if I'm going to prefer it in this project as well. And I would like to make my comparison in conjunction with Air Windows Meter here. And since freezing the two tracks, I'm hoping that I'm not going to have any CPU glitch. We're about to find out. If you're just happening by, if you're into this sort of thing, you don't have anything else better to do, please say hi in the chat. It's part of the reason I do this. Really, the only reason I do this is in hopes of meeting fellow travelers out there. As I was fortunate enough to the other night, I made a new friend over in Croatia, Roni. Anyway, so if you don't know what you're looking at here, but you're into this sort of thing, you might kind of watch and surmise what's going on. So I'm just going to go ahead and go about my business. And if you'd like to chat, please just say hello. By the way, I am in Paju City, South Korea. And it's the crack of dawn here. Well, actually past the crack of dawn. About 6:13 a.m. here. It's looking like it's going to be a cloudy day. Anyway, here we go. Play. Let's see there. And wait a minute. Okay. Okay, so ending the intro at sonority 12%, dark 87%. Now I'm going to switch this preset to compact cassette. Now we have this background hiss, which I'm still not too sure about, but I guess that's part of the compact cassette vibe, eh? I'm just kind of worried about aliasing, distortion. I guess I could put a filter in there somewhere. But anyway, I'm just going to compare how this fares in the meter here. Oh, hello, Jonathan. How you doing? Yeah, I haven't cracked this project open for a few weeks. Oh, yeah, okay. You're the man with the answers. I tried Air Windows. Is it ultrasonic? Didn't really do the trick. What would you recommend? I really like this setting in Tone Booster's Real Bus, but this hiss, yeah, I worry about it. Yeah, okay. Hang on a second. I need to widen the chat a little bit so I can. All right. Okay. Okay, you can remove the hiss in the noise adjustment section of your plugin. Are you talking about the Real Bus plugin? Okay, noise adjustment, hiss and asperity. Yeah, that's true. I haven't tweaked those actually. So, here goes asperity down. There's also these buttons down here. Okay, hiss. Well, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm not sure what asperity is supposed to be doing. I should read the manual, eh? Okay, so there's still the what would you call it? The slew line along the bottom there, and then also up here. There's these little red dots here. What if I click that? Ah! Well. I wonder, though, if I'm going to like it as much as I did before. The noise texture, that makes sense. So if I got hiss all the way down, then I don't really need to be worrying about that, eh? But still, I wonder if that's going to... See, I wonder if I'm going to like the setting as much with that hiss gone. But let's just see what it does on meter now. The intro, I had it on another... Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I had it on a subtle saturation preset before, and I just went through the intro, and it was about, what was it, 15% sonority, 85% dark, 0% bright. So now I'm just going to see what it does. Novelty is higher and intention is lower. And dark is up and sonority is down.
to stand or drop to my knees. Time to raise my hands, mouthing silent pleas. Can I cry it out? Can I take to task reasons for all my doubts down there? Would it be
They sound quite similar to me.
much to ask? I don't know.
But now it's about to kick in.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing?
I'm curious to see how that hi-hat's going to sound.
My gaze. And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding of wounds, cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning?
Well, the snare, I like the snare better on subtle saturation. I think I'm just going to go with my previous choice for now. Not that this is a big deal. The tom. No, this is this drum part was my friend down in Australia, down in New South Wales, tracked this drum part for me, and I just added some what was it? Pinch. What was it? Pinch. This one right here. Will it open? I forget what this one is called. It's a spectral pinch. It's a envelope. The name escapes me right now. It's for attack. It's envelope shaping. And TDR Nova. Which air windows did I use? Hypersoft. And a little tone boosters, reverb. And then, yeah, I'm running Atmosphere channel console in this mix. So, did I put a flanger in the hat? Okay, now that's an interesting question. So, is there a flanger in the hat? I don't think Josh did that. I would say no. So, what is that? Let me see. What do I have? Aha. See, monitoring. Actually, I want that bypassed, but I do want to add. Let's see. And utility monitoring. And see how it sounds in mono. Yeah, you can hear it.
And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding.
Now, I'm kind of surprised that there's not like a lot of comb filtering in the vocal because I tracked the vocal before I built this isolation booth. So I've been having issues with this with hi-hats and cymbals, drum sounds. So I'm not sure what to make of it, to tell you the truth. But this drum part, he sent me the wave file from Australia. He tracked it at 4824, just what my project is in. I plugged it in, touched it up a bit to fit the project, and so yeah, it's not a bad thing. Okay, maybe if he records with tape, it could be a side effect. Yeah, he does. He records. He has an Otari reel to reel, although I think he's not using that these days. But he probably did track this to 4-track. He probably used a 4-track machine. And I agree, it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's agreed. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I suppose, I don't know. I would prefer for that to be a choice. But I'm not too particular about that stuff. I mean, it wasn't bothering me. Matter of fact, I didn't even really notice it until you mentioned it. But yeah, it's there for sure. But okay, so there's that, and then I had been using Tone Booster's bus compressor. Before that, I'd always just kind of like assumed you should use some kind of master bus compressor, and before that, I was using TDR Nova Kotelnikov. Is that what it's called? And then I like this one a lot better. And then I discovered that I liked things even more without the bus compressor, just using the Tone Booster's the limiter. So I'm going to have to think about that as well. Also, as you can see here, I've got, and this is when I was still sort of learning about mid-side. So I'm going to have to reconsider this, right? That's my mid-side. Still haven't tried the dub plate 2 though. But my sense is that's for more like electronic music, and this isn't really electronic music, So anyway, I still like how this mix is sounding, basically. What else do I have in the chain here? I've got my atmosphere bus, of course. Interstage. Okay, into 2-tape 8, yeah. When I don't want a lot of percussion, use Air Windows curve compressor, no controls. Yeah, extremely subtle. Okay, yeah. I have to admit, I tried Chris's. I'm not a huge fan of his reverbs, although, yeah. And the compressors, I just haven't spent a lot of time with them. If I want something really, really subtle, I do have 2-tape 8 in here, and this is probably over compressed, but here, for like, when I just want something really super subtle, I love this one, just on default. And you can see it's not doing very much, either on default or on gentle leveling, but usually just on default. It's almost like a glue thing. It just binds things together in a pleasing way. But lately I haven't even been using that. So anyway, Relife, which is kind of an oral exciter, little goes a long way. It just kind of tends to, I find that it just removes a little bit of boxiness from a mix, and just a little bit of air, a little bit, just a little goes a long way, as I say. And then, yeah, here we have 2 tape 8. Okay, double plate 2 and 1. Make sure your music sound like an acetate. Yeah, I've read his blurbs and watched the videos. It's kind of like a finalizer. I think it could work to get a 60s and 70s vibe, but you have to straw away from the Loud Nation. Yeah, okay. But with double plate, I got the sense that it was more kind of like an 80s thing. But it's from a scene that I was never really into. Like I was just learning a lot from reading about, where the idea came from, and it's just something I don't know a lot about, But I will try it. You love Interstage, good. So I guess that was a good call. These are my 2 tape 8, kind of my default settings for 2 tape 8. Sometimes I'll have input just at default at 0.5. And then I start with tilt at 30 and shape at 70, flutter at 70, flutter speed at 30. Bias I leave at 0.5, and head bump I'll take up to 0.57. But I think, let me see if I've got mastering in here. Yeah, I do have mastering. And at the time, I think mastering, I've had more practice with this one since then. But this looks about right. I like a lot of girth generally. Skronk. These days I've been kind of rolling skronk back and scope up, But what else? Air 4. That's my overslew killer. I just bring ratio up to 1 and park it. And then, okay, purest gain. Because when it comes time to, I like to keep it right around LUFS minus 14. And I don't know, I just, after reach a point where re-leveling, I don't want to re-level. So I just trust that purest gain is going to live up to its name, purest gain. So anyways, thanks for stopping by, Jonathan. I'm kind of reconsidering retracking this vocal because I was expecting, when I threw it into mono, I was expecting to hear comb filtering, but I can't even remember which microphone I tracked this through, but it was before the booth, and since I built the booth, comb filtering's gone away. However, I'm not really hearing it here.
Is it time?
Oh no, there it is.
To stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise.
Yeah, it's there. I just wasn't hearing it when the mix got bigger. Oh man, well, thanks. I appreciate it. It's kind of, it's lonely. And if you were to live stream, your process, I'd be down to hang out as well. I don't know if you ever do that. I mean, I have you subscribed, and I. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna. There is there is comb filtering in there. It wasn't so apparent up in when the mix gets fuller, but Air Windows ADT. What is ADT again? You could get comb filtering with Air Windows ADT. Is ADT the console emulation? Oh yeah, yeah. hmm Yeah, I'm a bit CPU challenged. My my laptop, it's a gaming laptop, MSI, but it's 7 years old. And in order to be able to do this, I have to basically freeze all the tracks, right? In fact, I started the stream and had to kill it because I ended up having to freeze a couple more tracks. Oh, double tracking vocal plugin ADT. Let me look it up. ADT. A double short delay tap with saturation under ambience. It's funny. I don't even remember the name of it. Hang on. Let me. I just want to dial it up and read the blurb. Ambience. Oh, there it is. ADT. Is that a newer one? It's an old one. Oh, okay. Double short delay tap with saturation. Artificial double tracking. Fixed flanging. Well, there you go. Single short delay is heard on lots of Beatles tracks. Okay. All right. I'll be honest, I would stick with the preset and pretend. Oh, well, this is something I'll have to look into. But at present, I'm kind of trying to get away from comb filtering. I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to achieve some vocal tracks without comb filtering. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and well, do the obvious thing first, which is to delete all of these. And there we go. With any luck, OBS does a very curious thing with this DAW. They admit it because John Lennon hated double tracking his vocals. Did he really? I never heard that. Well, his vocals were very often double tracked. I mean, well, in his solo stuff especially, but in the Beatles stuff too, huh? Well, OBS has a very curious thing that it does. As you can see, I've got my microphone input. The solution very present. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. When they were the Beatles, they had to come up with solutions, didn't they? Those were the days, eh? Real engineering. Like Ford versus Ferrari, that kind of engineering. Did you see that movie, Ford versus Ferrari? It's one of my favorites. The way engineers used to work, right? But so I've got my input to the microphone, and output could go to the microphone, but I've got it going to my sound card, which then goes into OBS, which does, for one thing, I can track vocals live to the mix and have it go into OBS, into the stream, whatever. But OBS also sometimes enables me to turn on the input echo and track live through the effects with zero latency, or damn near zero latency, which I like to do when I can get away with it. But maybe actually when I'm recording a video, I can get away with it, but I think live streaming, probably not. We'll see. I'm not sure why OBS does that, because if I'm not running OBS and I turn on the input echo just in the DAW, there's always probably 30, 40 milliseconds of latency. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know if it's a feature or a bug, you know. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and there's my vocal booth cam. Actually, vocal and acoustic guitar, and I've got two monitors in there now. I've got one up high for when I'm standing and recording vocals, and then I got one below for when I'm sitting on the chair with the acoustic guitar. That was yesterday's innovation. Anyway, so now I'm going to move into the vocal booth. And, well, everything seems to be ready to go, so. All right. And okay. All right. Well. Very strange. The monitor's color is all messed up. It's all greenish. I wonder why. I'll have to worry about that later on. Let's just make sure that. See, I can hear. Yep. Okay. And mouse. There's the mouse. Okay. Yeah, this is odd. It's like the green got turned all the way up somehow in both monitors. It must be the. Well, I'll figure it out later. Anyways, let's just gonna give this a shot. First, I'll turn on the arm record. Obviously, got signal. That's good. And there. Yeah, there's just a little, probably yes. Too much latency. Okay, well. Let's just give this a shot. Turn this light off back here. There we go. Okay. All right. Sorry, about right there. Thanks, Jonathan. I don't know. I find this one, this one's not easy to sing well. So I'm about to find out if it's a good or a bad day. We'll see. Is this time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing silent pleas.
I cry it out? Can I take to task reasons for all my doubts down there? Would it be too much to ask? I don't know. I think I'm sharp and flat. I'm not hearing. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if I can turn up. Nope. That's right. Let's just hear how it levels look good. So I'm gonna have to nudge it. Probably left 2. Is this time to stand? No. Oh, of course I'm in mono. But is this time to stand? Or drop to my knees, time to raise my hands, mouthing silent pleas. Can I cry it out? Can I take to task? I'm still hearing comb filtering in there, which is a little bit disappointing. I wonder. Let's go back to the previous takes and solo again. Is it time to stand or drop to my knees? Well, it's worse there, eh? Worse there. So see, I added this carpet, and I added this carpet for added high frequency absorption. The foam is taking care of like the bass, low mids, and I don't know. I guess it's never going to be like a professional studio, right? It's still open in the back, eh? Okay, well, anyway. I guess I'll keep that take. It wasn't too bad. And just continue. Edit, redo. Just hear it in the mix again, without mono. Is this time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing silent pleas. Gonna have to EQ it. Can I cry it out? It's clearer. Cleaner. Can I take to task reasons for all my doubts down there? Would it be too much to ask? I don't know. light wasn't showing, the path pulled out from under my gaze. And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding of wounds, cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming when the drapes parted and I awoke beyond words and alone to the shapes of my bones, my bones. Is this time to atone for my confusion, or to stick out my chin and shed the old skin of disbelief? And this light as it is, boundless as the black seas I once crossed in defiance, can I too drown in its healing? Well, where was I going when the light wasn't showing? The path pulled out from under my gaze. And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding of wounds, cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming when the drapes parted and I awoke beyond words and to the shapes of my bones, how to atone Yeah, the I thought I was gonna have to hit the kill switch. That happens with this mix sometimes. Okay, well, okay, all right. Do them one at a time. This is nudge, left 2, and there we go. All right. And on this one here, I think, hang on. That, probably don't need that. Hang on.
Much to ask, I don't know.
All right. No. What's going on here? There we go. Don't need that intake of breath. All right.
I don't know. I don't know. Where was it? Where was that?
There we go. Okay. Now back to the mixing station. All right. Okay. Now, I'm thinking that EQ is going to have to change on this. But the waveforms look good, levels look good. There's no, maybe a little bit bigger than they need to be, but let me see here. Go into my, see how I got this EQ'd. Right. Well, that's odd, man. What was I thinking? Well, I must have EQ'd that. I must have had my reasons. But, yeah, that's going to have to, just sounded a bit boxy.
Is this time to stand
Not bad, but
or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing silently. Can I cry it out?
all right. First, I'm gonna go.
Take to task reasons for all my doubts down there. Would it be too much to ask? I don't know. Where was I going when the light wasn't showing?
Yeah, you're right about that hi-hat, Jonathan.
Under my gaze, and where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding, the wounds cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired.
It's definitely cutting through the mix better than it was before. Yeah. Definitely cutting through. Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean the vocal? Yeah. Oh, that's causing the hat to flange. That's a good point. I mean, I had it set to what I thought it was like really a very subtle thing, you know? But that's a good point. I'm just checking on something real quick here. See, tone versus easy Q. I might not need that now. And this one, I've since started using. Just real quick, gonna do a couple of adjustments here. I got a friend telling me I need to download the new Tone Boosters pack. This is the Legacy pack, and he says they got a new one, but you have nag screens, you know. I just don't want the nag screens. I like the fact that they offered this for free, and it's great, and I'm used to it. I don't know. Okay, it's Evoke. This one's really good on vocals, you know. Sometimes the Exciter is okay, sometimes it's just not. But yeah, I mean, you know, not always. I mean, if I just always stuck to what I know, then I wouldn't have got into Air Windows, you know. But at the same time, it's not good to be too greedy about things, like the grass always being greener. You know what I mean? I'm really happy with the Tone Boosters Legacy pack. And Jonathan, I found this trick with Tone Boosters Broadcast with Disintegrate, but actually there's like a fuzz face, fuzz pedal, you know, plug in. That's not even really necessary. Just Disintegrate, maybe bass amp, and then you put Tone Boosters Broadcast, and it's like Billy Corgan Smashing Pumpkins territory. It's amazing, but it wouldn't be Man, disintegrate. I was waiting for something for a long time that would do what that thing does. Okay, let me focus on this for just a second. I just want to set this and then I can forget it.
Is this time to stand
We'll need the exciter.
or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing silently.
Yeah, it's sounding a little woofy.
Can I cry it out? Can I take to task
Gonna have to retract that
reasons
part.
for all my doubts down there? Would it be too much to ask? I don't know. Where was I going when the light wasn't showing? The path pulled out from under my gaze. And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding
Good enough for now.
wounds, cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning? Such drifting and dreaming when the drapes parted and I woke.
Wow.
Onwards and alone.
Dial it right down. It's such a big difference.
To the shapes of
That's an enormous difference, man.
my bones.
That's incredible. That's okay. All right, so let's turn our attention to tape 8, and just set these to default, right? All right. Let's see. Let's find out.
Where was I?
Set them to 0. Okay.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing? The path pulled out from under my gaze. And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding of wounds, cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire
Yeah.
that had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming?
Would you say that took out that flanging? At least it means now the hats are clear. I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. I got to be honest, sometimes I guess I need to be a little bit more, what's the word? What's the word? Like, oh, flutter speed. It's like, oh, that sounds cool. Like I'll think it sounds cool on something, and then I have a bad habit of assuming that it's going to sound great on everything else. Because if My problem is if I try to tweak everything all the time, I'll never get anything done. You understand? Okay, at least a lot of it. You could dial the flutter to something less extreme. Yeah. Well, yeah. I did mention that, didn't I? And you were very quick to say there, right there. You might want to look there. Like, oh, I got this hiss. You might want to look at the hiss knob there. Oh, man. I'm truly blessed to have kind souls put things to me in kind ways. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, I like a clearer hi-hat, so I'm just going to leave that dialed down where it is right now. But thank you, Jonathan. To be honest, I'm still, learning about. There's a lot of these Air Windows tools that I don't get yet. Like, I think it takes time. It's quite a learning curve. There's a lot of it I really don't understand, and part of that is that, I was never really into a lot of the. Look, I mean, okay, so as a middle school, high school kid, just playing guitar in bands, in garage bands, and maybe somebody would have a 4-track and a couple of microphones, or sometimes just like a boom box with double cassette deck. And then, it's like I got out of high school. I went off to get my higher education. I didn't do music for many years. And then when I got back into doing music again, by that time it was like late 90s. And then by that time, some of the earliest DAWs that became available for just bedroom musicians like myself. First there was obviously Pro Tools. It was only for the pros. And then like right around 99, 2000, I found like this free, very primitive free DAW. That's when I made my first recordings. And then, so I was never into like modular synths, and I got this friend in Florida now, Phil, and God, that guy, he still works with a sequencer. Like he composes everything in a sequencer he's got most of his gears from the 80s, and he's got these songs that are like 120, 130, 150 parts, and he does it all in this 80s sequencer, and then he transfers it to the DAW and then parses it out into all these tracks. It's incredible. And he's got, he knows stuff about routing, and he knows stuff about audio that I just have no clue. And I think I showed him Air Windows, and I think it makes a lot more sense to him just right off the bat, because he's been in that world for such a long time. And I think, Chris was originally like, he was an electronica guy, right? So just maybe it's a bit more of a learning curve for me, right? But I am finding meter to be, the more I get to know it, and I suppose I've found kind of my own way of using it, just sort of things that I generally go for and look for, right? But I love using meter in conjunction with this guy right here, because this thing has so many different, it's almost like just at the click of a preset, you get a different mix. You just have all these different choices of mixes, and Meter responds accordingly. And there are some settings in Real Bus that'll just send it'll send sonority way up high, and then you select another one, sonority will dip down, and tension will go up, and So sometimes if I say, well, I've got too much bright and I want more dark, I'll use Real Bus, right? And I use them together. And so far I've really, yeah. All right, we all have to find our way, right? Our way. But so far, I think I'm going to go back and I'm not happy with this part. I'm going to go back and retrack the first verse. The rest of it, I think I'm going to be okay with. But yeah, I'm going to go back and retrack the first part.
Is it time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing.
Try it again.
Is this time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing silently. Can I cry it out? Take to task reasons for all my doubts down there. Would it be too much to ask? I don't know.
One more time.
Is this time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing silent pleas. Can I cry it out? Can I take to task reasons for all my doubts
was it? Okay. All right. That's it. Thanks. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I wanted to. It's like quieter, up, too quiet, and then phrasing, of course. Let's see.
Would it be too much to ask? I don't know.
Now, still, man, I got some EQ work to do with that because it's just it's really not nice.
When I solo it, it's I guess I'm gonna have to learn how to EQ that isolation booth in there, right? It just has a it's dead enough, I think, but it's different. So okay, reverb sends. I'm not going to ask you to educate me on that. Could you recommend a YouTube video? Here's what I have. I've just got the reverb in the effects chain. And I've heard here and there that that's not the way to do it. So, I need to move the compressor up. Right there, and I should have the EQ after that, maybe. And which air windows do I have? Discontinuity. Question, do you think discontinuity should be at the very beginning of the chain? That's probably too loud. That's probably too loud for vocal also, huh? But I have this, Jonathan, I want to, the sound that I'm kind of going for is, I want the sound of a live band, a really big, loud band on a big stage at an outdoor venue. Okay. Remove the reverb and have the reverb on ascend. Because the vocal, okay. So in other words, put the reverb in a bus. A bus. So let me see here. I've got a bus for seriously. And I could just use this one right here. Okay. Well, when you say send, so for example, if I call this bus reverb, and then I take my reverb. This is my main vocal track, and I take my reverb and I drag it over into the bus right here, and then I send to reverb. Like that, right? And then it goes to the reverb bus, and then it goes from there to the master. Does that look right? Okay. Now, I use these buses as little as possible, and it might be because I just don't understand them adequately. But they seem to add a lot of gain. They don't plugins in the buses. The plugin in the bus doesn't behave the same way as it does in the effects rack. And I've never really gotten to the bottom of it or really understood it. Now, there is a level in the send, right? But anyway, let's hear how it sounds now.
Is this time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands.
Turn off the audio before the reverb. Turn off the audio before the reverb. I'm not sure what that means. I'm a bear of very little brain. Lower it. Okay. I'm sorry. Your English is your second language, right? I appreciate you speaking English to me. I'm a typical American. Lower the audio. Okay, well, here's the level knob on the send, right? So if I
Is this time to stand
turn it down and
or drop to my knees? Time to
pretty dry.
raise my hands.
there's
Mouthing silent plea.
that sounds all right.
Can I cry it out? Can I take to task reasons for all my doubts down there?
I'm gonna have to retrack it
Would
again.
it be too much to ask?
That first verse is the hardest one.
Where was I going?
Put the purest gain before the reverb and turn it up. Okay. I'll just I'll follow your instructions. Purest gains in utilities. Purest gain. So now I got purest gain before the reverb in the bus. Turn purest gain up. How much? It goes up to 40. Should we start at 4? 3? 2.56? All right. I just dialed the track down to minus 15. But anyway.
Is this time to stand or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands. Mouthing silent pleas.
Hey, B.
Can I cry it out?
What do you think?
Can I take to task reasons for all my doubts down
Maybe
there?
a little more down.
Would it be too much to ask?
I hear some kind of like,
I don't know.
it's gotten dirtied up a little bit.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing?
I hear the flanging again.
Down from under my gaze. And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding, the wounds cauterized by the blaze.
What do you think?
Of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming when the drapes parted and I awoke beyond words and alone to the shapes of my bones, my bones.
I've heard some people say that when you put a reverb in a bus on a send, you should turn the reverb all the way up. I couldn't really turn the wet all the way up. They're like, yeah, turn the wet all the way up. I think the idea was turn the wet all the way up, and then dial the send level down. You should turn dry wet all the way up. I just did. All right.
Is this time?
Well, that's way too wet. So I dialed the send down, send level down.
Is this time to stand? Or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hand.
The send is the output and purest gain is the output. So I've got two outputs, or I should choose one output. Oh, okay. So the send is at level at 0.0. Okay, no worries. Anyway, don't touch the send for now, and turn purest gain. So I should adjust purest gain, is what you're saying, right? So wet, dry all the way up to 100% and adjust purest gain. Okay. All right.
Is this time to stand? Or drop to my knees? Time to raise my hands, mouthing silent pleas.
It sounds pretty nice.
Can I cry it out?
Maybe a little wet, but
Can I take two
I kind of want to see what it does.
for all my doubts down there? Would it be too much to ask? I don't know.
Still have some EQing to do.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing?
That flanging is back in the hat.
From under my gaze. Then where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding.
Holy shit.
Roads cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming when the drapes parted and I awoke beyond words and alone
That's what I don't get about
to the shapes of my bones.
to get this kind of clarity and cutting through, in the past I tried side chaining. Oh, side chain the vocals, I hated it. I just hated it. It's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not side chaining the vocals. I'll figure it out another way. I'm not side chaining. And here we go. You, sir, have just saved me a learning curve and a rabbit hole. Thank you. You're a gentleman and a good teacher. I think that's like I'm probably going to go with a little bit less, probably turn. But what do you think so far? You think that's. So purest gain is down to over -7, under -7. But I mean, it sounds pretty good to me. I'm just going to quickly turn my attention to this is a game changer, Jonathan. I'm going to have to go back and yeah, I've got some redoing of stuff to do. But it's so gratifying. Let me see here. It will sound more clear that way. Yeah. That's your reverb settings. It's too wet. Yeah. Use a stereo plug-in after your reverb. Oh, really? I do have, let me see. I've got Seriously in this bus, and I forget, let me see. I've got, the main oh no. The bridge vocal is going through Seriously. Acoustic guitar, the synths are going through Seriously at different levels. I could try sending the main vocal through there. Well, might as well start it. Yeah. Okay, he does. After the reverb. Let's give it a try. I want to start it right here where the mix gets thick.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing? The path pulled out from under my gaze. And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding of wounds cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding a fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke.
Oh, yeah.
And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming when the drapes parted and I awoke?
It does fatten it up a little bit. It does, yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to leave that full on and bring the level down a little bit more.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing? The path pulled out from under my gaze. And where was it leading? Past the end of the bleeding of wounds cauterized by the blaze.
I don't like vocals too up front. It's part of that big band sound, right? Big live band sound.
Had sent all my soul up in smoke. And where was the meaning in such drifting and dreaming when the drapes parted and I awoke beyond words and alone to the shapes of my bones.
Sounds all right to me. What do I know?
My bones. Is this time to atone for my confusion, or to stay stick out my chin
Ah, too dramatic.
and shed the old skin
Too loud.
of disbelief.
I need to back off the mic. I need to back off the mic during the verse, during that verse. And I mispronounced. This is just weird. I have to do that again. But no,
Where was I going?
That's
when
sounding
the
really good.
light wasn't
I want
showing.
to hear the second one.
Well, where was I going when the light wasn't showing? The path pulled out from under my gaze.
Good. And then the loudest one, it's loudest and thickest, the third chorus. Let's see how it's doing here.
Where was I going when the light wasn't showing?
And I leaned back from the mic during this one. It sang louder.
Under my gaze. And where was it leading?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Of the bleeding.
It scares me, actually.
Cauterized by the blaze of an anger too tired to keep feeding the fire that had sent all my soul up in smoke.
Yeah, this is, I'm really liking this.
Where was the meaning?
This was the,
Such drifting and dreaming when the drink.
Even with volume drawing, you know, I really struggled to get this to work. And now for the loud parts, for the choruses, it's sorted. I mean, I still need to get back to EQ and fine tune it a bit. And then the verses, I just need to see with this new clarity at my fingertips, like also adjust the way I use the microphone, the way the distance, everything needs to change. So for the verse, I can just sing a bit more quietly and back off from the mic a bit more. Maybe I'll just have to play around with it. But yeah, it's a big step forward. And I think that's enough for now. Need to see about getting ready for breakfast with the missus. Dylan's Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. I'll have to go back and listen to that one. Is that from Blonde on Blonde? My favorite Dylan is early Dylan. Yeah. I was never a big fan of Blonde on Blonde. I think my favorite Dylan stuff is up to Bring It All Back Home. But my favorite Dylan songs are still A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall and Masters of War. I'm working on a cover of A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. I may do a live stream on that soon, going back to that. And then Masters of War. But anyways, I appreciate the reference. I'm gonna go back and listen to that song again and then listen to this and try to get what you're saying. Well, dude, sir, thanks for keeping me company during this, and thank you for for educating me. I really appreciate it, man. More than I can say. Truly. I've had, YouTube, the algorithm, is it's a thing. But man, just to meet a few people, to have this kind of rapport with is all anyone could ask for. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll probably be back on here the next couple of days or so. Maybe I'll see you then. Maybe not. Or maybe I'll see you on Chris's live chat. I haven't been. I've been trying to sleep a bit more responsibly lately, so his live streams tend to come on around 3 a.m. here. And I've been trying to not to stay up all night, every night, as when I was younger, because I'm starting to feel it. 53. This year. Oh, geez. I'm really starting to feel my age. So, but sometimes, okay, Tuesday, all right. Well, these days I've been kind of like trying to bed down like more around like 9 p.m. And then usually I'll wake up around 2. Yeah, well, it's just I've always been a night owl my whole life. And you know how biorhythms are, circadian rhythms. It's really hard to change that. It's one of the hardest things, But I do find that if I can get myself to bed around like 9 and sleep until around 2 or 3, then it seems optimal for me if I can make a habit of it. And I love those pre-dawn hours for doing audio work. The ears are fresh, the brain is reset, the mood is level, everything is, and then, so Tuesday, so I guess that would be like, I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll see you there. But anyways, again, thank you very much. And see what time it's there on Thursday. Okay. So you're 8 hours behind me there. So it's getting on midnight there for you, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, have a good sleep, and I'll talk to you again soon. Okay. All right, Jonathan. You're a prince. Thank you very much. And signing off from lovely scenic Paju City, South Korea. This has been another Lean Bear Joint. God bless and keep you. Over and out.